which should be pretty straightforward. So I will start the meeting. Are you ready, Shane? Are you ready to push us into the water here?
I'm all set on my end. I just want to make sure Carrie or Candace are all set.
We're good to go as well, Madam Chair.
Very good, thank you. So are we recording? We are now. We'll put it on. Good afternoon, everyone. My name, for the record, this is the Boston City Council Committee on Strong Women, Families and Communities, a hearing for dockets number 1168 to 1171 and docket 1240. For the record, my name is Liz Braden. I'm the Boston City Councillor for District 9, and I'm the chair of the Boston City Council Committee on Strong Women, Families and Communities. I am joined today by my colleague, City Councillor at Large, Erin Murphy, and Commissioner Shea from the Age Strong Commission. This public hearing is being recorded and live streamed at boston.gov/boston-citycouncil-tv. It will be rebroadcast on Xfinity Channel 8, RCN Channel 82, Verizon Fios Channel 964. We will take public testimony at the end of this hearing. If you wish to testify via video conference, please email Shane, shane.pack, pac@boston.gov to sign up. When you're called, please state your name and affiliation and residence, and limit your comments to no more than 2 minutes to ensure that all comments can be heard. You may also submit written testimony by emailing ccc.swfc@boston.gov. Today's hearing is on 5 grants to be administered by the Age Strong Commission, totaling $4,420,739. We'll start with docket 1. The first docket is docket number 1168, a message and order authorizing the City of Boston to accept and expend the amount of $2,070,874 in the form of a grant for the financial year 2022, Title III-C, awarded by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, passed through the Massachusetts Executive Office of Elder Affairs, to be administered by the Age Strong Commission. The grant will fund nutritional services for older adults in the City of Boston, and these services are enhanced by federal Nutritional Services Initiative Program and State Elder Lunch Program grants. I'll just keep going and read all the dockets, and then we can discuss them together. Docket 1169 is a message and order authorizing the City of Boston to accept and expend the amount of $1,006,875 in the form of a grant for the federal financial year 2022 Title III-B for supportive services awarded by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, passed through the Massachusetts Executive Office of Elder Affairs, to be administered by the Age Strong Commission. The grant will fund supportive services for older adults in the City of Boston. Docket number 1170, message and order and authorizing the City of Boston to accept and expend the amount of $576,120 in the form of a grant for the financial year Title III-E award, financial year 22, Title III-E, awarded by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, passed through the Massachusetts Executive Office of Elder Affairs, to be administered by the Age Strong Commission. The grant will fund caregiver services for older adults in the City of Boston. And docket number 1171, message and order authorizing the City of Boston to accept and expend the amount of $417,870 in the form of a grant for the federal financial year 22, Title Title III-A, awarded by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, passed through the Massachusetts Executive Office of Elder Affairs to be administered by the Age Strong Commission. The grant will fund costs for the administration of Title III programs. And docket number 1240, message and order authorizing the City of Boston to accept and expend the amount of $399,000 in the form of a grant for the East Boston Foundation Fund 2, awarded by the Massachusetts Port Authority to be administered by the Age Strong Commission. The grant will fund Age Strong operations and management of the East Boston Senior Center. And those are all of the dockets. There's quite a few there. And I want to invite Commissioner Shea to give us a little bit of background on the dockets and anything you'd like to share.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Madam Chair. And hi, Councillor Murphy. Nice to have you here. These are, so the first, I can talk first about the first 4 dockets, which those are our Older Americans Act funds. Those come to us at the City of Boston because we are Boston's what's called the Area Agency on Aging. And so these are federal dollars that come to us through the state as part of being an area agency on aging. It's our responsibility as a AAA to do a needs assessment, which we do every 4 years, to assess the needs of the community. We do what's called a planning process. So we just finished up our planning process for the next 4 federal fiscal years, and then we use all of the funds to meet those needs. Some of this money we keep in-house, and the majority of this money we put out in RFPs to the community. We have 24 community partners right now that help to facilitate the spending of these dollars and to make sure that they're targeted and meeting the needs that are laid out in the Older Americans Act, and also that we see in our needs assessment. So I'll go through the dockets one by one. Docket 11668, the Title III-C, these are nutrition dollars. So these are for both the Meals on Wheels program and also for congregate meal sites or community cafes, as we call them. There are 46 of those across the city where somebody over 60 can go and eat for a suggested donation of $2 a meal. So it makes access really easy for people. Those are mostly doing grab and go meals right now, but some of them are doing sit down meals in person at this point. So our partners for our nutrition program, and you had alluded to the fact that there's a couple other pieces of funding for this pot of money, the NSIP program and the State Elder Lunch, that combine to form kind of the piece of funding that comes through the city and out to Ethos and the Chinese Golden Age Center that help to operate that program here in the City of Boston for us. This is also part of there's many more streams of funding that don't come through the city. So it's a lot of funding going into meals for folks in the city. Title III-B is supportive services. That is the next docket. That is our most flexible pot of money. In as much as federal dollars are flexible. So that allows us really to look at how we meet community needs in a more flexible way than some of the other pots that are for very specific things. 22% of those dollars we are required to give to elder legal services, and we have our partner, Greater Boston Legal Services, that does a fantastic job with that. And then the rest of the dollars we give out, we fund a whole bunch of different things with this money. So right now we have 10 partners that are doing kind of, I would say, senior century types of activities, looking at how we connect people, bring them together. Folks like Chinese Golden Age Center, South Boston Neighborhood House, at ABCD in Mattapan, that are running programs during the day for older adults. Chinese Golden Age Center, La Alianza Hispana. There's lots of partners, but running programs during the day that help keep older adults active and connected and informed about all different things. So they're great partners for us. We also fund some housing search work with this, with our partners, the Elders Living at Home program, Noistra, lots of ESAC is doing some both some home repair for us, and then a lot of housing search and stabilization work. And I would say many other things we fund through that money, really just trying to make sure that older adults have what they need in the city. Title 3E is Caregiver Programs. So we have two great partners who work on that for us, Boston Senior Home Care and MSPCC. Boston Senior Home Care is running a program that called the Family Caregiver Program, and that is support for people who are caring for folks over the age of 60. And then MSPCC is running a Grandparents Raising Grandchildren program. So our money, because of the Older Americans Act restrictions, is funding grandparents who are over the age of 60 who is caring for youth. I know that Boston Senior and MSPCC raised some additional funds to fund kind of a broader array of what you would call grandparents or younger folks needing support. So, but our money funds people over 60. And then let's see, Title 3A is, as it sounds, admin. These grants are cost reimbursement grants. So we have a whole team of finance folks that are working to make sure that the dollars that we are paying out are accounted for on the other end of things, and that we're only paying what we should be paying. And then we have a team of program monitor folks who are able to partner hand in hand with our grantees to make sure that we're providing the support that they need to make their programs what they hope that they are and what we hope that they are in the city. So lots of exciting work there. I guess let me stop and take any questions that you all have on those, maybe. Madam Chair, let me know if you want me to move on to the East Boston Foundation 2-1, or.
I think it's a nice time to pause and just take any questions with regard to these particular dockets. No other councillors have joined us, so I'm not putting any more on the list at the moment. Councillor Murphy, have you any questions?
Yeah, not specifically a question, but more just thank you, Emily, and the Age Strong Committee is so amazing. And I know a promise that I've made and always cared about is making sure that our seniors, our older adults, as you call them, I like that, get connected to the resources that our city, state, and private resources have. And I do feel it's on us to make sure we're connecting them. So definitely look forward to continuing and growing that relationship with your your department to make sure we're connecting with seniors. Because it's so important, right? My own grandparents, who were all immigrants from Ireland, were able to live at home well into their 80s. My grandmother Gingy lived to 102, and at her home. So feel very fortunate that we were able to do that, but know that the Meals on Wheels and all of the different services that our seniors need to stay independent and healthy and connected. We know through COVID, because this is your life, your work, that seniors have always felt isolated and disconnected often, right? But COVID, I think, really brought it to the forefront for more of us to realize that. So making sure that, you know, the pandemic, like learning lessons from that and moving forward. So definitely support all of these grants and look forward to our work together. So thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. The one I think we've talked about this. These grants are regularly occurring grants, so we've talked about this before. The one grant that I'm really interested in is the flexible spending one that gives you a little bit more leeway to, you know, sort of identify a need and then try and fill it. So the elder legal services, I think one of the issues that we see in our office is that very often elders, especially in real estate transactions and, refinancing their homes or going into reverse mortgages and all sorts of things that almost seem too good to be true. I feel that this particular having access to legal services for elders that are inexpensive and they're folks that specialize in the space. And then there's also the whole issue of guardianship and stuff like that. If you have someone who is losing their capacity to make their own decisions, I think this is all really valuable work. In terms of educating our residents about all the services that are on offer, Commissioner, how do our residents find out about all these great services that you provide?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, right? Because there's just so many different services and that they all meet different needs at different times of someone's life. We try and have all of those available on our website. We try and highlight them in our seniority magazine. We try and talk about them when we go out in the community. And then I think one of the things that is probably most important is that we also have our advocacy representatives here at the H-Strong Commission who can help to kind of assess and help get people connected so that they don't necessarily have to know all of these different things exist and how to navigate that network, but we can help people navigate that network and help them identify what exists. Because one of the things I find is that people don't even know what exists, so they don't know to ask for it. And so that's why we try and do a really good job with kind of assessment and connection and helping people navigate not only these aging services, because that's certainly complex, but also city services, which can also be complex as well. And being able to help folks navigate that is really important.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you folks did a really tremendous job early in the COVID pandemic last year, helping people identify support and help. And then when it came time to get vaccines, you were really incredibly helpful because people were able to phone your H-Strong and talk to a familiar person. I know from our experience in Alston Brighton, they talked to someone who they knew from the senior centre who was able to guide them, and it was really, really helpful and help them to not be so stressed about the situation. So really appreciate all that.
Yeah, thank you. And Councillor, can I just say that we're happy to help folks get connected to boosters too if they want to give us a call.
Very good. That's good to know. Excellent. So then the final docket is the docket with regard to the East Boston Senior Centre.
Yes, so this is very exciting. This money originally came to the city in the form of a kind of a pilot payment from Massport back in 2017, I believe. I'm just looking at the date. In it was actually accepted by City Council from Massport back in October of 2017. It then went out to the East Boston Foundation. And in working with the community in East Boston, we have agreed to operate the senior center in East Boston. So there's a new senior center. The city has renovated the old Orient Heights Library, and it is slated to open probably February-ish. February, March of 2022. So this Massport money that's now at the East Boston Foundation is for the operation of the center. And it is from, there was a community agreement because of some work that Massport is doing. And so that's why these funds are going to the operation of the senior center. And so those funds are now going to come to us. We're going to hold them specifically for the operation of the center. And we will operate the center using these funds from the East Boston Foundation. So that is what's happening, and we're excited about it.
That sounds great. I'm just wondering, is this a one-off fund, or will this be an ongoing cycle of funding from Massport?
Yeah, so this money goes through 2027. And it's based on Massport hitting certain milestones. The money that they have now, and then I should also add, so it was originally intended to be about $1.7 million over the course of those 10 years. But Massport is not building a parking facility that they were going to build. So there is less money than originally anticipated. But it also, the project got delayed because of COVID, so it's also not opening when it's originally anticipated. So currently there's about $399,000 that will be coming to the city. And then every other year, there should be another $187,000 as long as Massport meets the milestones that they need to meet. So that's where things stand now. And I think it remains to be seen if there's kind of future Massport work and what the community and Massport agree to in terms of additional dollars coming in for this. But there's currently less money than was originally anticipated.
Okay. Councillor Murphy, did you have a question?
No, just wanted to follow up what you had said, Councillor Braden, that your support in the vaccine was amazing. And I saw running citywide when I would be on all of the, neighborhood association meetings, there was always representation of elected officials, and they always made sure that they knew that there was support and that they could help them, walk through that process, which I know when it first rolled out was really scary and hard for seniors. So that was wonderful. And also just liked that you touched upon and, the fact that, seniors need senior related services, but they also need all of the regular city services also. So to not lose sight in that. So thank you for talking about that also, that your agency helps connect them to, regular constituent service and city needs that aren't just specific to seniors. So you have a lot of work in your office. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Yes, we like to say we're all aging, right? So yeah. We all need to access all the services.
Absolutely. So this is great news. It's great news that East Boston's getting the rehabilitated Orient Heights Library. That's wonderful. Repurposing a city-owned building to the benefit of the neighbours and the seniors in East Boston. That's great news. I don't have any further questions at this time. I think this is a we will all be, I will recommend that we vote to accept these grants on tomorrow, which is our last session of this year and of this council session. So I want to thank you for all your great work, Commissioner Shea, and look forward to working with you in the future next year. And keep plugging away.
Wonderful. Thank you. Happy holidays to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I now will bring this hearing of the Strong Women, Families and Communities to a close. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.